All right, everybody, settle down. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the triumphant return of Second Shout Studios Plays Scarlet Hollow. Today we are doing the first part of Chapter 5, but it is not the entire Part 1 of Chapter 5. We're going to be doing Part 1 of Part 1. So let's buckle up here and get right into the story. I am definitely going to be calling out on cast members who did not previously play people to assist us in this Episode 5 recap. And we're definitely giving us a full recap, not just Episode 4. It's been too long. Let's get ready. The funeral of Pearl Ann Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family.
Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms are safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out.
So, what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against a darkening sky, that sort of thing?
You eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of these woods at dawn.
A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness.
You hear the sweet whispers of new growth.
Duke grapples with the thing as it grabs at a shotgun, pushing the barrel out of the way as it grasps for Birdie with oddly jointed limbs, while Stella stares in shocked silence as if paused, watching as the other creatures attempt to wrestle Gretchen into the darkness, her desperate cries going unheeded. You dive for Gretchen, attempting to snatch her away from the thing's misshapen hands.
Oh no! Casey! My hero!
You manage to grab her, but the creature isn't deterred. It rears back on its hind legs, its mouth opening, whispered tones sliding out alongside something sharp and unnatural. But then, there's the deafening blast of Duke's shotgun, and suddenly, it's gone.
Oh my god, what do we do?
Emilio?
My apologies. I wasn't sure this. Stella, keep an eye on her for us. Make sure she doesn't get into any more trouble.
Come home.
Cristina, can you take this?
Yep. My grandmother used to talk about pale creatures called ditchlings. She always said they were a terrible omen, a sign of suffering to come.
And here we are. You're welcome to stay the night, if you want.
From now on, you're back at the estate by bedtime. No more impromptu sleepovers.
Wow. That is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner's where everyone comes to gossip. so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual.
Nolan?
Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there.
Nothing strenuous, we promise.
Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now, anyways.
I am the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen.
You're interrupted by sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill.
I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days.
Cristina?
My dad says our house is haunted.
But she's interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. There's something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator.
Hey, you alright, Casey?
Stella reaches for your shoulder, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber.
Casey! Casey, are you alright?
Wait! Becca and Alexis are still down there. You can't just leave them here. I know which way they were going. They'll listen to you this time, I promise.
Your surroundings quake as the mine collapses around you. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. There are two of them now. What happened to your glass house?
So squatter move in. Kick Dustin Mom out.
As you're ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the two of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Kyle?
Oh, Casey. Before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I heard about it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. I'll be praying for Oscar and poor little Rosalina. They're such sweethearts. Couldn't have happened to nicer people.
Morning. Is the new blend ready?
Of course. Casey, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will be just a minute.
Oh, excuse me. Wait. You're Casey, aren't you? My name is Bo. I'm Duke's boy. It's a pleasure to meet you. The policeman told me you saw what happened to my daddy.
And with that, breakfast is served.
He's a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're interrupted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Noah? It's hard to put a finger on it, but something compels you to dislike this man.
Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Casey? Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd ever like to discuss your beliefs, my door is always open. Ugh.
The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Oh shit. Noah.
You can be a little intense. Kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. I haven't been cleaning much.
Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense, his shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze.
So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week while Casey is still in town.
We'll have to see how you're feeling.
I can handle a movie, Doc.
Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay.
You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick.
If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day, and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my mom just to have friends
Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms.
Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix...
Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open.
Reese?
Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves.
Hey, you're just in time. Rosalina's situated in the back room, and Lexus is going to keep her company while we hopefully get this all sorted out.
Hey, hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff?
Oscar and startle as the door swings open.
Hold it. You're not taking my cousin along on any more of your little hijinks without me.
Whoa.
Where I've been. Appears on top of the stain. Or this is where I've seen it. Excuse me.
Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch. The floor around it stained in reddish brown.
I'm going for it.
Wait, do you hear music?
Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention.
Stella?
There you are. I would have found you sooner, but the resident clearly doesn't want me here. It doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they?
The sins of the father.
Are to be laid upon the children.
Bullshit!
I hope I didn't come too late. It wants something, doesn't it? And I think you know which of you should volunteer.
You must be joking.
You take a step towards the light.
Sybil is right here! Please don't do this!
You wordlessly step into the spotlight.
I'm so sorry, Casey. I don't think I can talk right now. I'll call you, okay?
She hurries off down the road.
Before I go,
Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back a moment.
I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight about what's happened to you, but let's not get into it here. I think everyone could use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea room sometime tomorrow, say in the afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Casey.
You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. You open your eyes. It's a new day. And you feel like shit. But your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella.
I had a chat with the mayor yesterday. I heard you did too. I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point that it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them.
The miners didn't even notice you enter the diner, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. I have no idea who originally did these. Dirge, can you take this one?
I guess. The shift schedules are pretty brutal, and I'd like more vacation days. I'd love to be able to see my family around the holidays, and better health benefits would be amazing, but what if she decided to fire us all?
You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days.
Now on to business.
Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge.
Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup, cross kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings something's coming. And whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure, but we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall.
His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it.
Whoa. Are you okay?
You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away the wood over the course of unknowable years. The planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it.
Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe.
As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls.
Grab my hand. I'll pull you out. Leave us alone.
Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway.
Is this what you were so afraid of?
Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot.
You take a cautious step back from the doorway. Reese pushes his now massive form into the safe room, staring down at his mother.
Reese, I'm so sorry.
You sit on the log beside Stella.
Casey, that ghost really did a number on you. I'm so sorry.
Have your fun tonight. But you should consider returning to the estate tomorrow. Tabitha won't be around. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you. And you might be surprised at what you find.
So, are you coming in?
You drift off together, limbs entwined, exhausted and safe and comforted. Tomorrow may bring some new horror, or it might not. But whatever happens, you'll face it together. It's time to continue your journey. You wake to the sound of birdsong and to the welcome aroma of breakfast sizzling down the hall of Stella's intimately cozy cottage. As you stretch, the soft cotton of her sheets slides against your skin. The aches and pains you've accumulated this week feel distant, lessened by the brief lightness Stella has brought to your life. You've had a good night's sleep, and though you can tell it hasn't chased the bone-deep exhaustion away, you feel slightly more whole. Let's join her in the kitchen.
Hey, yo.
Can we turn off the old filter?
We can, yes.
Hell yeah, because I hate that shit.
Noah hates old people, confirmed.
Yeah, I do.
Overlay intensity, go back to the previous screen.
Thank you, people smarter than me. Haha. Let's try reduced. Is this okay?
That's better.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Go for it, Gretch.
Well, if it isn't Stella's little overnight guest, so happy that she finally seems to be adding a third member to our little pack of two. Though I hope you'll need to make more space for little old me in that bed if you intend to spend any more of your evenings here. We come as a pair, she and I.
Casey, I hope I wasn't too noisy in here. I just wanted you to be able to get some more sleep. I know it's early. Still, can't be too bad to wake up somebody making pancakes for you, even if it is at the crack of dawn.
You take a step forward, leaning in close. You can feel Stella's smile broaden as you plant a gentle kiss on her cheek.
Oh, Casey, you can do better than that.
Before you can pull away, she takes your face in her flour-dusted hands, pressing her soft lips to yours. She smirks as she turns back to the pan. How'd you sleep?
Aren't I the host here? Isn't that what I'm supposed to ask you? But I slept great. Of course I did. Thanks again for everything you did yesterday. You have no idea how light I feel right now.
It was so nice to wake up here knowing your face would be one of the first things I'd see. Stella's gentle smile spreads into a grin.
Well, aren't you romantic? If you think my looks are nice, wait till you try my pancakes. These are what'll have you coming back for more. And that's the last one. Let's have ourselves a breakfast feast.
Stella motions with a pancake-laden plate towards the table. You take a seat. You take a multi-layered bite of Stella's pancakes. They're incredible. A perfectly crispy crust with a light and fluffy interior still steaming from the heat of the pan, with a generous pour of maple syrup adding a flavorful sweetness. A rich, buttery aftertaste lingers on your palate. A stack of these, made with love by someone who cares about you, is a perfect way to start your day. Hey, before we figure out plans for the day, we should talk about Reese.
Why? Did something happen?
You take a deep breath, then proceed to explain everything. Stella stares down at her pancakes in shock, trying to process what you've just said.
Reese was a monster? The whole time? Poor Dr. Kelly. It's terrible that it had to play out that way. Maybe there could have been some way that they could have worked it out or something. But this at least sounds better than the alternative. I hope he's doing better now. Wherever he is.
Well, I, for one, hope that we never see that deranged boy again. What a menace to society he turned out to be. I told you he was a monster. If he so much as tries to lay a hand on my dear Stella, he'll see what sort of a hand of hell I can really be.
I think we should bust into the Forbidden Wing today.
What a coincidence. I was also going to suggest we snoop around the estate this morning. It's like we share a brain. This is so exciting. Let's finish up breakfast and go. All right. Pancakes have been eaten, and I am fueled up for today's activities. Let's head out.
Stella stands up, Gretchen hopping down from her chair to sit at Stella's side, and the two of them lead you to the door to head out into the chilly morning air. The walk through town is quiet. It's early, and though you can smell the diner cooking up breakfast for hungry miners and brewing coffee for cops to sip, while ignoring the horrors plaguing Scarlet Hollow, Main Street is deserted. You and Stella feel like the only people in the world watching the sun rise over the library. The estate looms over the three of you, more unwelcoming than it's ever been, as if the small bit of time you spent away in a warm house still full of the love that built it has made the mere thought of the crumbling manor unbearable.
Dear, I've forgotten how dreadfully thin the air all the way up here is. However does Miss Tabitha survive at so great an altitude? Perhaps that's why she's such a sour of disposition.
Wow. I can barely remember the last time I made my way up that hill. Perlan didn't exactly make it easy for me to see Tabitha, so we usually hung out anywhere else we could think of. Your aunt had a tendency to shoot first and ask questions later, so I figured it was best not to risk winding up at the business end of her shotgun. You only make that mistake once. God, it's sad to see how much worse it's gotten. That cliff used to be a lot farther away from the house, but it's claimed a lot of ground. This place looks like it could fall any day now. It used to be such a beautiful house.
Together you cross the threshold, the ancient door creaking open to reveal the familiar dusty foyer. Knowing Tabitha isn't here to keep you in line gives the place a new feeling, like you have complete ownership of the place, and any secrets it once held are yours to be uncovered, if only you can figure out where to look.
God, you can feel how much the floor is tilting. Jeez. The place has really gone to the dog since the last time I was here.
Well, I take offense to that. If it had gone to the dogs, there would be considerably more comfortable pillows and considerably less cat. I can smell her already. That loathsome feline stench pervades every inch of this house.
Everything feels so much older and disused. Can't believe Tabitha's still living here. I'm sure she has a lot of memories tying her to the place, but it feels like it could come down around her ears any second. So, where to first?
Let's go to my room first.
Oh? Got something up there you want to show me?
Stella gives you a flirtatious wink.
Lead the way.
The two of you make your way up the rickety stairs into the guest room.
Diable.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Frou-Frou.
So we meet again, Frou-Frou. Why has it been ever so long? I'm sure you missed me terribly. If only you were in the grave where you belong, I could spit on it. You'll have to wait to indulge in that pleasure, my dear feline friend.
There they go, growling and hissing at each other like always. Gretchen usually gets along really well with cats, but I guess Frou-Frou is too much of a capital C cat.
Ugh. Well, I am loath to part with the lovely warm spots that I have made upon these empty sheets. Cannot stomach your foul doggy stench any longer.
Frou-Frou leaps from her spot on the bed, launching into the hallway and galloping down the stairs.
Good riddance!
Anyway, if I remember correctly, this is Perlan's old room, right? Tabitha really wasted no time getting this place turned over for guests.
Someone has been here. The closet is wide open and its contents have been dragged out onto the room. A discolored residue smeared on some of the larger boxes, giving you a hint as to who might be the invasion of privacy.
Holy shit. That mess has gotta be Wayne, right? I think I'd know if you were that messy.
Did you say this was Perlan's old room? I knew someone died in here. Tabitha was so dismissive when I brought it up.
Perlan did die in her sleep, so one can assume. Maybe Tabby just didn't want to talk about it. It's okay. Now you can just, sleep in my bed for the rest of the week. If Tabby gets mad, oh well. She shouldn't have made you sleep in a dead lady's bed without even telling you.
We gotta check on Dustin. You make your way to the dresser, pulling out the drawer to check on the little possum and his mom. But they're gone. Not even the bread remains. It's just an empty drawer.
Oh, are you getting changed? I could give you some privacy. Or not, whichever.
Good grief. It absolutely reeks of possum in here.
There's so many answers, but I know which one I feel in my heart. Dustin is missing! Something has happened to my dear opossum friend Dustin!
Huh? You have a little possum friend named Dustin who lives in your drawers? The drawers next to where you sleep. Sorry your little friend wandered off. Possums are very cute. I can understand why you'd worry. I guess Frou-Frou probably spooked him, but he's a wild animal, so he'll be fine on his own. And I'm glad you took that shower at my place.
You slide the drawer shut. The closet was not like this yesterday morning.
So your room's been tampered with. All the more reason to check it out.
You and Stella cross the room to investigate the open closet door. The back of it hangs slightly ajar. It looks like it was never a solid wall at all, but rather a door, previously hidden behind a pile of boxes and papers that was dragged out of the way overnight. There is no doorknob, only a small circle of metal where a doorknob would be, punctuated with a keyhole.
Is that a hidden door? Oh, yes, I knew it! I knew there was going to be hidden passages.
Stella whips out her camera, nearly fumbling and dropping it in excitement, but she regains her steadiness, aiming it into the gloom of the closet at the silver light from the room beyond.
Stellars, you're not going to believe this. We're here in the Scarlet Estate, trying to get to the bottom of what exactly is going on around town. I have just uncovered this hidden door in Casey's closet.
Guess we found our way into the Forbidden Wing.
There could be anything on the other side of that door. Some kind of unspeakable monster, maybe a devious trap, or perhaps answers to the mysteries that have been plaguing Scarlet Hollow. Or it could just be a boring room and all this buildup will have been for nothing. Only one way to find out.
Stella steps forward, filming as she dramatically opens the door, its hinges creaking appropriately. Together, you enter the Forbidden Wing of the Scarlet Estate. The room you find yourselves in is mostly barren, with no real furniture to speak of. The wallpaper is peeling with neglect, and the floor tilts uncomfortably beneath you. Already, you can see why Tabitha would be so intent on keeping you out of these unused rooms. This doesn't feel like a place for humans anymore. Stella continues forward excitedly, camera held up to catch every detail. You follow her into the hallway beyond the small, forgotten room.
Wow, an exclusive look at the ruins of the Scarlet Estate. Even if we don't find anything supernatural here, this is already great stuff.
Stella, it's a miracle we survived this long. The places you drag me to sometimes. My goodness gracious.
Before you is a long hallway. Dust dances in the weak sunlight, beaming in from the cracked glass. A tinge of mildew stings your nose, warning you away, although there's nowhere else to run now. An ornate entryway, its door long gone, breaks the monotony of the faded wallpaper, and a staircase looms at the far end.
Oh, those are fresh prints.
She
Maybe of Bel Air.
She zooms in on what you now notice as a faint trail of human footprints along the dusty floor of the hallway.
Those prints belong to that vile shell of a man. I'm certain of it. His scent is unmistakable.
Looks like our friend has been doing some exploring of his own. We'll have to be careful. I'd rather not run into him while sneaking around in here.
Let's investigate the ornate entryway. You both make your way to the dark doorway in the middle of the corridor. It seems like some kind of entertainment room, the sort you'd expect out of the fancy rich people who wanted to show off. The stench of mildew is strong here. Your already weakened lungs aching from the strain of breathing in such toxic air. You can see why Tabitha doesn't want you exploring these rooms. There's a large painting on the far wall of the room. From a distance, it looks like it might depict the town.
Jeez, it's a miracle any of this is still standing. Tabitha should really think about moving before this half of the house decides to finish falling off the cliff.
This room makes my nose tingle. Not in the pleasant sense of the word.
Something else catches Stella's eye as she turns her camera towards a bookshelf at the end of the parlor.
A hidden room? Oh man, the fans are gonna love this.
Let's examine the painting. The painting highlights a number of old buildings and locales, many of which you've already visited. The town hall, the estate, the mines, and the clinic, still called a hospital at the time of this painting. The church, and then there's somewhere you've yet to see, the historical Callaway Tremaine homesteads.
And that would be our little town. Oh, there's a plaque under it. In commemoration of Enoch Scarlet, head of the Scarlet Hollow Landmark Revitalization Project. Let the past never be forgotten. Oof. I feel like writing something like that is just asking to wind up gathering dusk and... It's just asking it... What? Asking to wind up gathering dust in a neglected room like this. Let this be a lesson to all of my viewers looking to immortalize their life's work. So, all two of you, maybe.
Let's investigate the hidden room. Stella gives you a helpful boost over the wide crack in the floor, her strong hands hoisting you across with ease. Together, you duck between the shelves, entering the dark room. The space is dark, its features barely illuminated by the faint light trickling in through the myriad of cracks and holes in the wall. The wallpaper, a deep, exquisite red, adds a blood-like glow to the dimness. The walls are lined with ornate display cabinets, some empty, some still presenting their antique treasures. Nestled between the cabinets, a single tall bookshelf remains standing, its occupants dusty but mostly intact. But all of these are ornamental details. Your focus is drawn to an expensive-looking antique desk in the center of the room.
This room stinks to high heaven, and it's a lively stink, not the dead stink of the rest of this awful house. Unless my nose deceives me, I do believe there is some kind of wild animal in here. A possum, if I had to hazard a guess. But if anything tries to lay a single paw on my Stella, they'll have hell to pay, mark my words.
Gretchen barks out at the rest of the room, attempting to intimidate whatever it is she smells.
Shh, Gretchen! We wouldn't want anybody to find us here. Who knows? They might try to seal it back up, Amontillado style.
Gretchen quiets down, but that doesn't stop her from thoroughly investigating the space. Also, because it was pointed out in chat, yeah, we did learn in an earlier episode they were on the wrong side of the war.
Woohoo! This is it, Stellars. The kind of find every urban explorer hopes for. A hidden room locked away in the Scarlet Estate, full of weird artifacts and keepsakes no one was ever supposed to find. They weren't counting on a couple of investigative documentarians like us to go looking. But here we are, about to blow your family's sordid past wide open.
First of all, wrecked. Second of all, let's examine the desk. You step towards the desk. Maybe there's something worth finding in its drawers. Let's try the top drawer. The top drawer mostly contains old-timey letter-writing materials, complete with a fancy dagger-shaped letter opener and a wax stamping kit emblazoned with the initials ES. The wax seems lightly gnawed. Underneath, you find a pile of crumbling financial documents. Scrawled in neat cursive in every spot that needed a signature is the name Enoch Scarlet. This must be his desk, meaning this must also be his study. And hidden among the documents, you find an ancient photograph. A stern blonde man stares up at you from the detritus at the bottom of the drawer. A face you're surprised to find you recognize. It's the man from your vision, the one in the hospital bed.
Hey, I've seen that before. That's a picture of Theodore they put in the local history books. That's your great-great-uncle or something. The one who died in the collapse.
Let's tell Stella about the vision. I had a vision about him yesterday.
No way.
He didn't die in the collapse. Enoch just said he did. But I also saw him promising Teddy that a witch was going to solve their problems. Stella focuses the camera on you as you explain the vision you saw yesterday. She's clearly shocked by this revelation, drinking in every word, eyes growing wide.
What's that about a witch? I would have figured Enoch was some straight-laced religious dude. Definitely seems like there are a lot of layers to this mystery we have yet to uncover.
Let's close the drawer. You close the drawer. Let's try the bottom drawer. The bottom drawer jams as you attempt to pry it open. It would seem even after all these years, the lock on it still holds. If only I had a little more strength. But your strength is Charlie's now, isn't it?
Hold on, let me give it a shot. Don't overwork yourself.
With a thunk of cracking wood, it slides open. You're surprised to see familiar faces staring up at you from within a nest of odd glass vials.
Vermin, let me at them! I'll tear out their little throats!
Whoa, hey, calm down, Gretch. We don't need you getting riled up right now.
Please don't kill Dustin. Dustin already dead.
Dustin and Dustin's mom play dead. No, Gretchen. Dustin and Dustin's mom are my friends. You don't need to fight them.
Dustin?
Why, I didn't know you went around befriending every disgusting little wild animal in town. I was unaware I associated with someone of such low breeding. No, I suppose I could learn something from you. Reflect well on me to choose to mingle with the occasional riffraff. One shouldn't be too unkind to those who are lesser, even if it means I must put up with such an odorous beast as these. Yes, I will somehow find it in my heart to look past this. I am a lady, after all.
As the barking stops, Dustin stirs, life returning to his tiny body, though his mom remains in her half-dead state.
That's right. Dustin and human friends. And human big and strong protect Dustin from ugly dog.
How did you get here, Dustin?
Other human come into room. Scary human. It scared Dustin and Dustin mom. Other human didn't much moving around. Dustin afraid that Dustin house would be moved too. And maybe Dustin would be eaten by scary human. Dustin know about many places to hide, So Dustin and Dustin Mom come here.
Are there any secrets you know about the Forbidden Wing?
Secrets? Does did not know about any secrets. Dustin knows a upper room's scary, smell like blood and storms. No good hiding places when human come. That's why Dustin down here instead. Nobody ever come here. Plenty little dark place to sleep. Other secrets Dustin know that look like food. Is stuff that look like food in other small house, not actually food. Not stop Dustin from trying to eat it though. Could turn into food when Dustin not looking.
He's so fucking cute, and I relearned this, where if you press H, it hides the text box. You can see how cute he is.
Aww.
He's so precious.
Yes, he is.
Can I pet you? I will be very gentle. Dustin appears to think about this, glancing at the form of his pseudo-dead mother, then back up at you.
Yay!
You carefully run a hand along Dustin's back, rubbing him gently between the ears. He closes his eyes, seeming to enjoy the interaction as much as you do. He feels oddly greasy, and his fur is coarse and thick, but his tiny body is warm and comforting beneath your palm.
Aw, how sweet. I'll edit that part out of the video. We don't need commenters starting any fights about petting wild animals. They wouldn't understand that you have some otherworldly bond with every animal you meet. Though maybe exploring that could make for an interesting new series.
Are you gonna come back to live in my room?
It's Dustin just house on weekend. But Dustin can wait for next weekend.
I don't suppose you could let me have those vials you're sitting on. Dustin glances down at the vials underneath him, and his death-feigning mom. He takes a moment before responding, clearly thinking long and hard about it.
Human can take weird egg. That's okay with Dustin.
You slide a number of vials out from beneath Dustin and his mom, who is still stiff as a board. A tiny trickle of drool leaks from the corner of her mouth, leaving a damp trail along the width of them. Bye, Dustin, Mom.
Gay.
His little smile there too when he's talking.
It's so precious.
He's everything to me.
I'm so
Aw,
happy we got
he's
rid of
so
him.
cute. I can't.
You close the drawer, returning Dustin and Dustin's mom to their hideaway before turning to Stella with your haul of glass vials.
Dustin lucky human have rather good nature. Lucky human reign in hell beast. Dustin almost die like siblings.
Did you... Huh. Okay. Never mind. I was gonna say something. And I forgot what I was gonna say. I guess you're some sort of animal whisperer. Alright. Let's see what we've got in these bad boys. You can do the honors while I hold the camera.
Open the vials. You reach for one of them, but hesitate before opening it. This is a fragile thing, and it hums with a strange energy. You close your eyes and focus on that hum, and to your surprise, at the back of your mind, you hear it. You begin to read their contents to Stella out loud. To Miss Maeve, I know that it has been several years since my last visit, but I do hope you remember the young lad who used to find himself at your doorstep, more than you probably would have liked. I write to you now with the utmost urgency.
Whoa, how are you doing that?
Stella focuses the camera on you as you continue to read. I'm not sure if news has yet reached you regarding what transpired just yesterday. Many lives were lost. The town is in a frenzy. I hope to mitigate some of the damage that has been done, and thus must speak with you at once. I attempted the journey to your place of residence, but was unable to locate it.
I don't think you're the pranking type.
You once told me of another way to reach you, and though it seems nothing but a half-remembered fantasy, I'm acting in desperation. I can only hope this letter finds its way to you, as you once said it would in my hour of need. I must meet with you at your soonest convenience. Sincerely, E.S. Stella snatches one of the vials from you and closes her eyes, face scrunched with an intense concentration.
I got nothing.
And then she pops it open. The smell of an old pond wafts through the room. She wastes no time removing the paper within and unfurling it.
These papers smell so strange, like woods, night, or leaves, or old leaves. How people have pinpointed better if not for the overwhelming reek of filthy possums?
Holy shit. That's exactly what you said was on it. How?
And then she's interrupted as the paper dissolves into pulp, as if only just now realizing that it had been submerged all these years.
Okay. I guess we're not popping these open. Seriously, though, how are you doing that?
I don't know. It's like the glass was talking to me.
Beast speak and glass speak? God, some people really win the genetic lottery, huh?
Stella sighs.
ES has gotta be Enoch Scarlet. And that Maeve could be the witch he was talking about in your vision. The one who would fix their problems. You should read the rest.
You reach for another. Miss Verena, trouble with tea. Your presence requested at once. Verena, know what you tried. Do not appreciate the attempt at subterfuge. Thought we both knew what was at stake here. The boy has been dealt with. Expect me this evening for in-person discussion.
Maybe this is just the residual ghost possession feeling talking, but it kind of seems like he's referring to the whole Charlie situation. The boy being dealt with. That would mean Enoch had something to do with what happened to poor Charlie. Even if it was just telling Edwardine to do it.
Stella gets a distant look in her eye for a moment. She stares off into the dark as if watching some vision play out, but she quickly snaps back to reality, shaking herself out of it as she continues to rifle through the letters.
And the addressee changed. First Maeve, then Verena. The weirdest part about all of this is that these are just in his desk. There's not even an address written on them. That must mean they weren't sent, right? Yet she was clearly getting them somehow. Oh, this is so juicy.
You continue through the last few. Many seem unimportant, just listing a time and place. You assume meetings between Enoch and whoever Verena may have been. Step away from the desk. And go back to the hallway. Let's see where the footprints lead. You find yourself on the third floor of the estate for the first time. As you take in your surroundings, Stella slowly pans the camera down the length of the hall, working to build dread and tension for her future viewers. She clears her throat again, resuming her narration in a charmingly professional hosting voice.
Clearly, Casey and I are not the only people who've passed through the supposedly forbidden wing. Who knows, we might wind up running into someone else sneaking around in here. If you're watching this as found footage after the two of us went missing, now you know where to start looking for our bodies.
She drops the camera after her morbid joke, her voice returning to its usual casual cadence.
Looks like the footprints go all the way down this hallway into that far door.
You approach the window at the far end of the hall. That sure is a cliff. There's nothing below the window but the tops of distant trees, the ground having crumbled away. The only thing stopping you from plummeting to your death is the straining foundation that is still somehow holds this place together. At least for now.
Jesus.
Let's try to move the boxes from the front of the nearest door. You do your best to shove the boxes out of the way. They feel packed full of lead. You can practically hear your shoulders and hips creaking and straining with the effort. But try as you might, you can only budge them about an inch. Then they seem to cement themselves in place, and you find yourself gasping for breath after another few desperate pushes.
Here, let me help you with that. You don't need to go straining yourself, what with the whole, overnight graying situation.
Stella steps in, pushing away the stack with a bit of strain.
Oof. Seems like somebody was trying to keep whatever was in here extra secret. Joke's on them. That just makes me want to tell everyone about it even more.
The room is coldly empty. The large antique bed is made, its sheets ancient and dusty, but still somehow giving off the feeling of tidiness. Even with cobwebs stretched between each corner of its four-poster frame. Let's search the desk. You step towards the desk, its drawers practically overflowing with stationery. You start opening drawers. Each one is filled with paper, stacked haphazardly, practically spilling out as you attempt to dig through for anything important.
There better not be any more vermin in these drawers. I've met just about enough uncivilized creatures for today, thank you very much.
All these bills and receipts are in Edward Eden's name. Guess we know whose desk this is. The rest of the room is so neat and tidy. It's amazing that our drawers are such a hoarder's nest of old paper. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Scarlet Ladies have always been like this. Pretending they have everything together on the surface and being a total mess on the inside. Sounds like Tabby to a T. Oh, don't tell her I said that.
When you reach the bottom right drawers, you find something entirely different. Greeting cards, letters, small wrapped packages, some opened, some sealed, some crumpled into messy balls. You open one of the cards. Both pages are taken up by a handwritten note. Emilio?
Tabby, hope you're doing well. Not a day goes by that I don't miss you. Hope Perlan treats you to your best Christmas yet. I'm not sure what sort of doodads you're into these days, so I sent a little something that made me think of you. I made sure they were the best shells of the bunch. Not sure how rare any of them are, but they're awfully pretty. And they've still got that beach smell. And make sure you put your ear up to them, too. It doesn't compare to the real thing, but it comes close enough. And in case you think that makes me a cheapskate, I made sure to send along a little cash, too, so you can get yourself something a little nicer than glorified beach trash. Make sure you get Perlan to take you to the nice toy store, because that's where I'd take you if I was there. If you get the time, I'd love to hear from you. I miss you so much, Tabby, and I'm always thinking of you. You can come out and visit me anytime. I know you've always wanted to see what it's like out east. I've made sure to write out my address on the back of this card, just in case you didn't know how to get a hold of me. Been missing you, my incredible, wonderful, amazing daughter. All my love, Dad.
Oh My God.
Stella lowers the camera, averting its gaze from the deeply personal letters.
Tabby said her dad never tried to get in touch, that he just abandoned her.
You pull out another, from closer to the top of the pile.
Happy birthday, Tabby. It's me again, your old dad. So, the big 2-0. I can't believe my daughter is such an adult. In my mind, you're still that bouncy little kid doing cartwheels on the front lawn, telling me what various sounds animals make, like you're the professor of animal noises. I have no idea if you read these, but I'll keep writing them, even if sometimes it feels like I'm writing them to a ghost. I mean, we haven't spoken in almost 15 years. You're a whole human being now, and I have no idea what you're like. I like to think we'd get along, though. As always, my address is on the back. I hope you'll decide to come visit me one of these days. I've got a guest room all set up, just in case. It's always ready for you, kid. I love you, and I always will, no matter who you turned out to be. Love, Dad.
There are years and years of these. The bottom drawer is almost entirely unopened envelopes, dated from when Tabitha would have been just a kid. All from him.
It kind of looks like Edward and Perlan were keeping these from Tabitha. On purpose. For practically her entire life. I don't even know if we should tell her. I mean, there could have been a good reason, right? Like, maybe he was awful and telling her would just be painful and dredge up bad memories, but...
Tabitha deserves one good thing in her life. I don't care if she yells at us for snooping around back here.
You're right. She has to know the truth.
Let's search the closet. You make your way to the closet. It's as lifeless and tidy as the rest of the room. It seems Edwardine kept things neat and orderly, or as neat and orderly as she could, considering the decaying state of the place.
This looks to me like where Pearlie Ann would go shopping for Tabby's clothes. It's exactly the sort of thing she wears. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen her in that dress before.
The only thing here besides her clothes and shoes is a box, shoved off to one side. You pick it up. Child-sized overalls, striped shirts, a small pair of trousers with suspenders still attached. One of those little sailor suits boys from the 50s were always wearing.
Boys' clothes. That's weird. When was the last time a boy was born into the family?
When you pull out the last shirt, a note is revealed, tucked away in the bottom of the box in a protective plastic sleeve. It's scrawled in almost illegible handwriting, written in some thick brown watery ink that's cracked with age.
Me, I'm in here too, and I love you.
What the?
Even through that shiny stuff, I can smell the blood. I mean, if it's a nice smelling blood either, like, put that foul thing back where it came from before it sends me into a frenzy.
It's okay, Gretchen. You don't have to squirm so much. It's just paper. Really, really creepy paper.
Stella zooms in on the unsettling note, making sure the camera takes in every detail.
Okay, I got the footage I need. You should probably put that back before you get a curse from it or something.
You drop the note back into the box, once again covering it with the clothes.
Folks, what you just saw was found in the bottom of a box of boys' clothes hidden away in Edwardine Scarlet's closet. Yet the only children she supposedly ever had were 2 girls. This mystery is getting so thick it's gone from gumbo to gravy.
I found records yesterday, and actually, Edwardine had a stillborn boy. Middle name Charles. Stella's eyes go wide.
No way. You're not just winding me up, right? Because that is a bombshell. I mean, do you think Charlie? But then, oh my god. Okay, hear me out. What if he wasn't stillborn? I mean, he would have been a bastard son, right? And with Enoch the way he was, and the fact that your family has the whole Southern Gothic thing going on. I hope we find more about this. Forget gravy. The mystery just boiled over.
You're done here. Let's return to the hallway. You and Stella return to the hallway. Let's enter the middle room.
Oh boy, we've got a haunted nursery, everybody.
Let's check the bookshelf. The top shelf is occupied by antique picture books, Dick and Jane, nursery rhymes, ancient editions of Grimm's fairy tales. The lower shelves are full of educational materials, from children's encyclopedias to writing practice workbooks. From the sheer number of learning-oriented books on the shelf, you get the impression that the children who lived here were not supposed to be as interested in fun and fiction as they were in diction and spelling. Your family may have been wealthy, but maybe not in joy. Let's read a few writing practice books. You leaf through a few of the practice workbooks, gently turning the near-crumbling pages. Reasons Mommy should take me and Maribel to the zoo. 1. We have been very good girls and have not cried for a whole week. 2. Maribel says elephants are so big and I would like to see one. 3. I think it would be very fun and Mommy would have a good time. All are signed with the carefully scrawled signature of Alexandra Scarlet. You flip through the rest of the book. Your eyes unfocused as the many practice sentences and letter copying pages flash by. But something near the back of the book gives you pause. In a section that starts with the prompt, "Today I," Alexandra continues with, "talked to the boy in the wall."
The boy in the wall? Are you kidding me? People are going to think I planted this or something. It's just too creepy. Hold on a minute. The little boy's clothes, the note, the fact that Edwardine had a bastard son at some point. Now a boy in the wall? This is all starting to add up.
You're done here. Return to the hall.
Hey, hold on. This encyclopedia has something sticking out of it.
If Daddy plays with me and Maribel, if my family goes to the zoo, if Mommy and Grandpa took us to work, if me and Maribel and Mommy and Daddy and Grandpa have a picnic. All are signed with the carefully scrawled signature of Alexandra Scarlet. There's a strange, fantastical element to these pictures. Everyone is smiling and sitting together as any family would in a child's drawing. And yet it feels like these are drawn in the same hopeful way a child would draw a unicorn. Expressions of some reality that Alexandra could only dream of. These are less joyful illustrations. Daddy napping shows their father sleeping in a chair, a brown bottle of liquid conspicuously drawn on the table next to him. The girls hovering in the doorway some distance away. Mommy going to work shows the girls crying in the upstairs window of a house as their mother walks away, an angry frown scrawled on her face.
Wow, these are awful. The viewers are gonna eat this up.
You get the feeling these are more accurate depictions of the girls' lives. The last picture you pull out gives you pause. There's a new figure here, seemingly drawn behind a barrier. The two girls sit on the other side, smiles on their cartoon faces. The boy in the wall.
There he is again! I'm assuming at this point that he was definitely real. I wonder what he looked like, or if they ever actually saw him.
Stella makes sure to linger on the image, getting plenty of B-roll of the scribbled lines. You're done here. Return to the hall. You and Stella make your way back to the hallway. Let's follow the trail into the farthest room. You continue following the trail of footsteps, approaching the farthest room down the hall. The door was clearly meant to be hidden, but it's left far open.
Where in the world have you taken me? This place is pure evil.
It's okay, Gretchen. It's just a big, empty room. There's nothing to be scared of.
It pains you to stand in this space. Emotions hang over you, strong, oppressive, and overwhelming thoughts that threaten to fill your lungs. You don't feel death here. You feel something worse. A deeper loss. One that's left a wound that has refused to scar. You can't help but fixate on the carpet in the center of the room. The corner is rumpled as if it's been recently moved. Move the carpet. You pull the carpet up, exposing the bare floor and revealing what lies beneath. An ornate ring of sigils has been carved onto the floor, 5 along the edges with a 6th in the center. The circle emits now uncomfortably familiar feeling. You can feel your gaze forced to crawl over every intricate detail of the carvings in front of you.
Is this some kind of magic circle? In the Scarlet Estate? Clearly, Enoch was pretty serious about the whole occult thing. This is about as occult as you can get.
But you're too far drawn into a trance to respond to Stella, or even pay much mind to what she's saying. Your gaze crawls across the intricate details unbidden. The serpents wrapped around the staff gives you flashes of the room beyond the morgue, the darkness that swept through the house once it had been uncovered. The fist and chain makes you feel like you're back in the claustrophobic confines of the mines, surrounded by the angry hammering of its memories. The horns have the same nightmarish, dreamy feeling of the world constructed by the furious ghost of Charles Shaw Jr. The others are new to you. The feelings they emit are less intense, giving only vague impressions of what they might be tied to. Golden fields, the mewling of fresh souls, just slithered out from the womb and desperate to be fed. Another that rings like bells in your mind, calling you not towards it but away from it, pushing you from its threshold and into the darkness. But the central symbol is strongest of all. It echoes out across the room, a vast ego proclaiming its dominance.
You okay? Oh no, did the circle do something to you? Talk to me, Casey. Snap out of it.
A bell chimes, not calling me but pushing me away. There's a field somewhere torn by hunger, and...
Hey, come on, stay with me. Let's get you out of this room.
She flashes you a confident smile, her eyes shining as they meet yours. Her faith in you is unwavering. Stella crosses the room, training the camera on the door on the far side. Like the way you entered, it too has been left ajar, as if inviting you to explore what might be behind it.
The doors to this room seem like they would be almost totally invisible if they hadn't been left open. There aren't handles or anything, just keyholes. So it's gotta be a hidden passage. Amazing. Your family really pulled out all the stops when it comes to creepy stuff.
Let's follow Stella. You exit into a short hallway. There are stairs here, leading back down to the lower floors. But there's also another door. It's hanging ajar, the many locks and deadbolts along its edge glimmering in the weak morning light. The doorframe itself is gouged and splintered, evidenced that some desperate creature tried to save itself from the room beyond, time and time again.
Holy shit.
My goodness gracious. I simply won't step another foot further. As much as I feel I should always be at my dearest Stella's side, this is one place I dare not go. It's simply too dreadful.
Gretchen's whining reaches a fever pitch.
Jeez, okay. I get it. The scary room is too scary for a little dog like you. You don't have to go in, just don't go running off anywhere. See how the edge of the door is all messed up? Looks to me like something didn't want to be put back in there.
Before you can stop her, Stella steps into the little room, her camera drinking in every detail.
Oh my god.
You step forward to join her, Gretchen remaining rooted to the floor outside. This was a prison cell. Everything about this place reeks of neglected humanity. The walls are covered in scratches, legible words mixed in with the nonsense of desperate clawing. The one window set high in the far wall, is fitted with a thick pane of glass, as if the iron bars just beyond it wouldn't be enough to hold the imprisoned. You can't help but notice the doll from your closet sits watching you from the bed, one eyelid drooping. It adds an extra layer of menace to the already deeply unsettling room. Property of Alexandra.
Look at all these scratches in the walls. Did a person do all this? I can't imagine how much it would have hurt. It stinks, too. Like nothing I've ever smelled before. I've been in sewer drains that smelled better. Tabby. What happened here, Casey? What the hell happened here?
The pain radiating from these walls howls through your mind. Whatever lived here lived in constant torment. But the etchings on the walls are more than just evidence of the suffering that went on here. Whatever was trapped in these walls was trying to send a message to you, or to anyone who might happen across it. Your eyes are drawn to the massive, almost letters, dug as deep into the brick as the cell's prisoner could manage, highlighted with whatever pigments were available. It almost looks like a word, though none of the lines meet up, causing you to constantly doubt whether they're letters at all, or just lines that fool the eye into imagining shapes that aren't there. Your stomach clenches with nausea as you run your eyes along the deep furrows of the wall, but whatever was in here wanted these words to be known. So you do your best to store them away, trying to burn the image of them into your mind, carved deep into the wall, bloody against the filthy brick. That doll used to be in my closet, property of Alexandra. Stella walks over to the doll and examines it.
Property of Alexandra. Kids always talk about how she went missing. It's one of our town's urban legends. I wonder if they ever found her body. Maybe there wasn't a body to find.
The boy on the wall.
And then Alexandra. This doesn't all feel like old skeletons in the closet either. The smell is too fresh. And some of those locks on the door are modern.
Stella lets the statement hang in the air.
I just hope Tabitha didn't know about all this. Sorry, your snorkeling is really...
We are at such a tense moment.
Okay. I just hope Tabitha didn't know about all this. To think it's possible that the whole time we knew each other, all those nights we stayed up late talking, she might have known this existed. No, she didn't know. She wouldn't have let something like this happen.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want to be here anymore.
You and Stella are interrupted by a sound wrapping around you. Music. The tinkling of piano keys played by a clumsy hand. They echo up a narrow staircase at the end of the hall, one you've yet to travel.
You hear that creepy music, right?
Stella seems uncharacteristically shaken. She clutches at your arm, the camera trembling in her hand.
Oh, God. Someone else is in here.
You know who you'll find if you choose to follow the tune. It's an invitation. Wayne's blackened fingers sending out a message across the quiet house. The two of you stagger back into the hall.
Do you think it's him? Wayne?
Stella seems to swallow her momentary fear, straightening back up and letting the light return to her features.
If it is him, he could have information. He seems like he knows a lot about what's been going on in town. And who knows? Maybe he'd be more willing to talk now that we found all those secrets your family has been hiding.
Finally! The two of you have finally removed yourself from that wretched place. That means it's time to go, yes? It's time for all of us to leave this awful place.
I'll go alone. He might be more willing to talk if it's just me.
That's a good thought. But I'm gonna be close by, okay? As much as I want whatever information he has, he's a creep. And I'm ready to fight for you if it comes to that.
She rests a sturdy palm on your shoulder, giving you a confident grin. Then you step forward, making your way down the hall towards the eerie music, alone. The stairs take you into what you have to assume was once a servant's quarters, a network of cramped passageways hidden away behind expansive rooms of the estate, without so much as a window for illumination. But you persist, and descend deeper into the bowels of the Scarlet estate, the echoing piano your only company. Soon enough you see the light again, the sun creeping in through the edges of a nearly hidden door. You're at the end of another long corridor. Its high ceilings and tall windows are almost disorienting as you step out from the cramped, gloomy stairwell. The music echoes mournfully in the vast space, a chorus of wind adding a melancholic harmony as it whips in from the overgrown courtyard outside. It finally stops as you reach the doorway. Wayne stands from the bench.
Thank you for coming alone.
He makes his way down the tilted floor towards you. The sheets covering the old furniture flutter as a slight breeze sweeps through the room, carrying with it the smell from the wound that is his body, as he approaches step by careful step.
I hope you enjoyed the sightseeing.
He stops just a few paces away.
And I trust you understand the implications of everything you've seen. If you aren't careful, and you put your faith in the wrong people, things could go very, very wrong for you.
Let's talk. Who lived in that last room? Wayne cocked his head almost playfully.
I did. I'd been in that room a long, long time. Though my being free now is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. The town itself is enough of a prison that I might as well be stuck behind that door. But at least I'm free enough to warn you.
What's with the dramatics? Isn't this all a little theatrical?
There were things you needed to see, and I doubt you would have been interested in a private guided tour. Not when I'm the one who would have been giving it. And for once, I'd helped you find... once I'd helped you find what you needed to find, I wanted you to choose to come to me. To know you were truly open to a conversation.
Well, I'm here, aren't I? Can't you see I trust you? You can tell me whatever it is you want me to know.
Do you want to be somebody else's puppet, Casey? I can guide you to where you need to be, but it's up to you to open your eyes. The witch holds some of the final pieces. Find her. Pry them from her hands, and then everything should start falling into place.
The thought feels slippery. You're unable to hold on to it, and the holding is painful. Like you're gripping into it with white-knuckled fists. You're forced to let it go. It fades.
Huh. Unless you're already starting to forget about her. Memory is a disloyal thing, isn't it? Physical, easily manipulated. But something being missing from your head doesn't mean it's gone from the world.
There's a memory that I can't quite hold on to. A thought that almost hurts to think.
Keep it in the back of your mind. Try not to let it hurt too much. But don't let her take it from you, either. You'll remember when you need to.
What was with the doll in that room?
She liked it, so I liked it too. It was nice to see it again after so many years.
Does Tabitha know about all of this?
Of course. Why do you think she invited you here?
Tempting. I'm gonna remain silent. You say nothing.
I've given you a glimpse into one of your possible futures. Whether you choose to believe me or not is up to you. but I urge you to consider believing what your eyes have shown you. Your freedom is on the line.
What do you mean the town is a prison?
I can't leave. No one really can. As it stands now, Scarlet Hollow doesn't like letting go of its prisoners. They may be able to cross the town line, but not without paying a price. That can be changed, though. It wasn't always this way. And it was never meant to be. We can put an end to it.
The phrase scrawled on that wall. What was it? Why does it feel bad to think about it?
I'm glad you noticed. It's a weapon. Hold on to it.
First of all, that's crazy.
LOL.
Do it.
I trust you, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do about any of this. Wayne's shoulders seem to relax slightly, as if he's relieved.
Good. Good. Our enemies rely on keeping us divided. They know how much stronger we can be together. Be careful who you trust. I will always be there when you need me.
Wayne steps away, his shining eyes watching you unblinking from behind his veil, before finally disappearing, back into the darkness of the estate. You make your way back through the dark, cluttered side rooms and return to Stella's side. She greets you with a nervous grin, clearly relieved to see you, even though you were only gone very briefly. Gretchen stares up at you with her big, worried eyes.
Nolan. He's running to his room. He was making dinner.
What a wretched stink that man carries around. I'd usually be tempted to roll around in that pungent stink like that, but there's something so wrong about it. Something that makes my mouth dry up. I like my slobber the way it is.
You made it out. Good. I'm glad I didn't have to jump in and start a scuffle with the guy. Was he at least more useful this time?
I'm going to tell her about what I learned. You share everything he said, Stella focusing the camera on you and nodding along as you talk.
Tabitha. No. I can't believe she was in on anything your family did. I just can't. She wouldn't willingly go along with something like that. I refuse to believe it. He clearly has ulterior motives, right? He's totally trying to turn you guys against each other. Right? Let's just get out of here. Yeah? Like, now?
She takes your hand, her grip strong, if trembling, and gives you what feels like a poor attempt at a confident grin. Together you make your way out of the forbidden wing, practically running until your feet hit solid ground and skin is embraced by the crisp autumn sunlight. The warmth you and Stella shared last night seems to fall apart in the fresh air, shaken by the unearthed secrets of your family's past. A tense silence holds between the two of you as your mind does its best to grapple with what you found. And that is where we will pause until the next time we return to Scarlet Hollow. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for your patience with tech issues at the top of the stream. Thank you to my actors. Thank you to the audience. We love you so much. and cannot wait to unravel more of this what the fuck next week. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.